So, Netivot Shalom ala Torah, Sefer, Bamidbar, and we have actually two Parashiot, and with that we're going to conclude the book. Wow, and moving to Dvarim, unbelievable, like 2 months almost, it's Rosh Hashanah. So, Parashat Matot is, the beginning is about Nedarim, vow, covenants, etc. Vedaber Moshe el Rashi Matot. So Moshe is talking to the head of the Matot. Matot is like the tribes. לבני ישראל, לאמור, זה הדבר אשר ציווה השם, איש כידור נדר להשם. This is what Hashem commanded. A person that will make a neder to Hashem, or he will swear to forbid something on himself, לא יחל דברו. He should not desecrate his word, which means that he should keep his word. You said something, you need to hold to it. פירש רש"י, Rashi explained, מה רע לומר כאן אל ראשי המטות? Why he was speaking to the head of the tribe? So, למד או לימד שהפרת נדרים, nullifying vow or נדרים, could be with an expert, individual expert, with one person, but he needs to be an expert to nullify נדרים. ואומרו לבני ישראל, and he's talking to בני ישראל, our sages, darshan in the ספרי זוטה. So, מכאן שבני ישראל עוברים בבל יחל, ואין עקום עוברים בבל יחל. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that when a Jew says something, and he doesn't keep his word, then he's like violating a mitzvah to keep his word. But the goyim, if they say something and they don't keep it, then they don't make a sin with that. Like it is, they feel like they allowed to not to keep the word. And we need to explain. צריך בירור, מדוע הלימוד שיחיד מומחה מפר הנדר, נאמר בתחילת פרשת נדרים, why this teaching us that individual expert can nullify the neder, teaching us at the beginning of the parasha of Nedarim. The mashma, it seems to be that he's talking about a person that is noder neder LaHashem, that he shouldn't back off of his word, which means he needs to apply that neder. And it seems to be that it should be actually at the continuing of the parasha, binyan hafara, she'echid mufche mafer nedarim. So the whole thing is there. It's like it's a big teach for us. Also, we need to explain. צריך למעט, why it is like excluding the akum, the goyim, מבal yachel. Right? So, bal yachel, which means do not make your word secular. When you say something, it's holy. You keep it. If you don't keep your word, it's like you made your word secular. הרי כל התורה היא לבני ישראל ולא לעקום, because the entire Torah basically it's for us, not for the goyim. So why are you excluding the goyim? בעצם הדבר, in the essence of it, the din, the judgment הוא, שעקום נודרים נדרים ונדבות, כישראל ומקבלים. But after all, the goyim did bring sacrifices to the Bet HaMikdash. Also, they did, they respected it, right? We know. So, Nimtza, and we find that this Nedarim is also related to the goyim. So, what's going on here? And also, we need to explain the din that Yachid Mumche me'afer et HaNeder, which means an individual expert can nullify the neder. Vishlama, so it's good when we understand that yes, individual can nullify the neder as a father can nullify it for his daughter and a husband to his wife, right? This is what's in the parasha. When the husband hears about the wife at the same day that she's saying something, he can nullify that. So we can say, yes, Lomar, because the daughter is after all under her father, and the wife is under her husband, like she's belong to him, and therefore he can let her fulfill the neder, or he can nullify the neder. That's for the father or the husband. But what about an individual, expert or not expert? What's his power to nullify a neder of someone else? Right? It doesn't have to do it doesn't have any relation to the neder, not like a father or husband. Kenra, also we need to explain the essence of the neder. How is it possible? That the person is making something forbid on himself, and it is if like it's changing the reality of the object or the location, food or whatever, and if he actually didn't keep it, it's like making a violation of that nether of a mitzvah. It's like it changing reality. Bishlema, it's good in Negdere Gdesh. Okay, so we can understand when somebody is Makidish something, he said, this is to Bet HaMikdash, this is Kodesh. Then, okay, fine. So he cannot touch it anymore. It will be a Meila. And this is also Gemirut Adat. And that's like he changed that thing, making an Ekdesh. But in a neder, it's like forbids something only to himself. Right? Like, I will not eat from this bread unless if you're coming to visit me. And the friend doesn't come to visit. Only him, he changed the reality of that bread, and it's forbidden to him, not like an Ekdesh. If I said, I'm dedicating this to Beit HaMikdash, nobody allowed to touch it, except if the Kohen, right, in the Beit HaMikdash. Okay, so we understand, we have few questions. How is it possible that individual, expert or not, can nullify a neder? You have no relations to the neder or the people, the person who said the neder, not like a father or a husband, that their daughter or the wife said something. And also, why about the akum? We said, okay, yeah, we're excluding the akum, that if they don't keep the word, they didn't violate it, but Jew will violate. But okay, after all, the goyim can say nederim as well. So we have a bunch of questioning. והרבנו בשם רבנו יונה, we bring in the name of רבנו יונה, שכוח הדיבור, the power of a speech of a Jew, it's the same way of a כלי שרת, like a utensil or a vessel in the Bet HaMikdash, which is holy, just being that vessel that serve in the Bet HaMikdash. And actually that vessel, if you put food or mincha or offering, flour inside that vessel, it becomes kadosh. So the same way the mouth of a Jew is a holy mouth. Alken, and therefore there is a kedusha in the dibur, in the speech, speaking, that is coming out from his mouth. And that's neder become kadosh. And then you have to keep it. So this is like an ekdesh. But it says, allegedly, it looks like it's related only to someone that sanctify his mouth. But a simple person that his mouth is not holy, how can it be that when he says something, it's became like a neder and it's become kadosh? We can say, according to what it says in the holy books, the Gdima Torah Parashat Nedarim. So before the parasha of the Nedarim, all the laws and everything about this neder, it says, prior to that, Ve'edaber Moshe Rashi Matot Bnei Israel. So Moshe was talking to the head of the tribe, to Bnei Israel. He said, this parasha smucha, this parasha, it's also close to the parasha, or attached to the parasha that we learned before in Pinchas about the Moadot, about the Chagim. And after that, we have the Matot, and the Matot, all the Chagim, the Yom Tov, right, in Parashat Pinchas, we're talking about Pesach, and then Shavuot, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, etc., etc. And that was also given to the head of the tribes, which means it's a beddin, right? It's a court. שעל ידי אמירת הדיינים, מקודש החודש נקבעים כל המועדות. So by making the Rosh Chodesh by a beddin, by the Jewish court, you sanctify the months and you determine which day is the head of the months. And because of that, now you actually determine the dates of the days of the Chagim, or the Moadot, which means Hashem gave that power to sanctify the days to become a holy day for the Chachamim. Now they can determine all the Yom Tovs. And it says in Torah Avot, שדבר Hashem שופע בכל יום ויום, that the word of Hashem is flowing every day and is not reaching out to individuals, but to the head of the congregation and the Chachamim of the Torah, to the rabbis. ועל דרך זה, according to that, our sages said, יפתח בדורו כשמואל בדורו. So every generation have its leaders. Sometimes a generation have leader like Moshe, sometimes like Shmuel, and sometimes like Yiftach. But each generation, you have the appropriate leader for that generation. So the same way that word of Hashem was giving to Shmuel, word of Hashem were giving to Yiftach. And each and every generation, until the end of all the generation, words of Hashem are flowing, are coming to the head of the tribe or the head of the congregation or to the Rabbanim. And us, Israel, מקבלים את השפע העליון, and we are receiving the abundance, the divine abundance, by connecting ourselves to the leaders, whether if it is our local rabbi, the rabbi in the congregation, etc. And according to that, we should say, וידבר משה אל ראשי המטות לבני ישראל, that Hashem was speaking to the head of the tribe, to the leaders, to בני Israel, that the power of the Nedarim is by the ראשי המטות, by the leaders. So the same way they can determine when they speak, when they have the witness, when you see the moon, they can determine the Moadot, the Yom Tov, the dates. So from that strength, from that power, when a Jew is connected to the head of the leaders, they sanctify his word. And that simple Jew, although he's not a leader, but is connected to the leader, when he says something, then when it's coming out from his mouth, it's holy. The same way that the vessel in the Bet HaMikdash sanctifying the food that you put inside, that's our mouth, sanctify whatever we say. So we better say good things. So that's the connection between us and to the leaders and to word of Hashem. And from that reason, we have this din, that a chacham, like a leader or a rabbi or expert individual, he can nullify, he can uproot the neder from its essence, because the strength of the nedarim actually started from the leaders. The same way the father can nullify his daughter nedarim and a husband to his wife, because it is if like he is the leader of the house, and from his leadership, whatever the wife or the father or whatever the daughter are saying, then that's become holy, that become a neder because of the leaders, the father or the husband. And that's why I have control to nullify that. The same way, the leader have the power to nullify a simple Jew that say that. And that we will learn. Why it says in the Inyan Chalut HaNeder V'lo B'atarato. So he says, so the Torah is like how the neder is applying and not about the nullifying. So with that, the Torah revealed to us the reason that the existence or the reality of the neder is because of the leader. Only from their strengths, there is actually a tokef. There is like a reality to the speech, to the talk, to whatever the Jew said, so the neder will apply on that. And therefore, again, they can nullify that because it's coming from them. In our sages says, היתר נדרים פורחים באוויר. Said like nullifying nedarim, they are floating in the air, allegedly. Why really it says that atarat nedarim by a chacham only by a remez? It doesn't say specifically, it's like a hint. Because as we already learned, that the strength of the nedarim is by a Jew that is connected to the head of the tribes or to the leader, and because the leader can hear or the word of Hashem coming to them, therefore there is a kedusha in everything that he say because it's connected to the leader. And that says in the beginning of the parasha that this is the foundation of the neder by the leaders. And therefore, the Torah doesn't need to write specifically that they can nullify it. That's why Rashi explained to us. The Torah just saying it in a hint, because it's coming from there, from them strengths. And also explain why the Akum, why the Goyim were excluded from the Nedarim, because only Bnei Israel is related to them. But the Akum, it's nothing to do with the leaders, with the Rabbanim. They have their religion, they have their leaders, okay. But our leader have that strength that coming from Hashem words to make what the Jew, simple Jew say, to make it holy, so you need to keep it. But they can bring Nedarim and Nedavot. They can say, if Hashem will provide me parnasa, whatever, I'll bring a lamb to the Bet HaMikdash. Fine, you can say, but if you didn't bring it after all, you didn't do a sin as a goy. But a Jew, if he says something, you need to keep his word. Unless if you want to nullify, then you have to go to the leader. So that's why it's related only to us. And we'll finish with the quick story that I heard in Petach Tikva. It's a city that was built in Israel, I think, almost 100 years ago. Before the official vote in the UN. And there were from people over there. And they were designating area for a cemetery. They made the cemetery, they made the fence, they made everything to look really beautiful, empty cemetery. And there was a guy, healthy, everything was good. And he said something like, wow, we have a beautiful cemetery. I don't mind to be the first one to be buried here. Didn't take long, less than 10 days, he got sick and he passed away and they buried him. So, of course, he didn't want it, but I do the same. Sometimes we forget, we say something that from Shamayim, they use that opportunity. If we have chas v'chalila, some kind of a debt or, violation of sins, then when somebody says something, they said, oh, he said it. Okay, let's do it. Even if it was just a joke, So that's why we need to be very careful with what we're saying. I think Rabbi Akiva said that if he could, at the time when Hashem created us, he would create two mouths, one mouth to speak holy, one mouth to speak a regular thing. And then he said, no, I'm taking my words back. We can barely handle one mouth. So if we'll have two, it will be a disaster. So with that Hashem, we should speak only holy things. Not easy, but this is what we should do. Thank you for listening.
Good.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Very